Welcome to another episode of Den Excelsior. This is the live weekly podcast discussing the latest Marvel happenings across all media. But even if it's not from the House of Ideas specifically, if it's big and related to superheroes, it's on our radars. This episode is being recorded on the evening of Friday, April 9th, 2021. My name is Dennis, and with me I have a distinguished nerd panel as always. Don't tell him something is awesome, because I promise you that's a reason he'll use to avoid it like the plague. First up, it's Frank.
Yo. Speaking of which,
assessment?
I got something big and not related to Marvel also.
Whoa.
I also put it on my radar.
Is it inappropriate?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I was making a rough boner joke.
Oh, I see.
That would be great for WandaVision 2, Rise of Boner. I would watch that.
With that, I'm going to move on and introduce the next person. He's excited to join us with some brand spanking new internet. He's got that new internet goodness going on. It's Ricky.
Heyo, I got fiber up in this bitch.
He does. He's got fiber. It's a little loud and a little too excited right away.
Ricky tests well with the urban markets, so it's fine.
Yes. That is why we have him here. That's the only reason. It's definitely not for clicking all the buttons.
Nope.
And we also got a special guest.
We do.
He's
back. He was a guest with us once before when we were talking about WandaVision all those months and years back. But yeah, he decided to grace us with his presence again. The host of the Ridiculous on Rye podcast and casual Marvel enthusiast. It's Mikey.
What's up, guys? I am back.
He's back.
What is going on? I don't have a funny little blurb to put out there like you guys. You guys been practicing that stuff, huh?
We've been practicing a little bit.
You guys are sticking to landing. I can appreciate it.
Yeah. We're trying to get better at this, to make it worth people's time to come hang out with us.
But every time someone likes something, I end up not liking it. So once we like an intro, I'm like, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah, then he changes it up on me.
Yeah.
Just keep it loose, baby. Just keep it loose.
Mikey, thanks for coming back and joining us. Like I really wanted to get you on earlier, but it's I was just happy to get you back. We had a lot of fun. I know a lot of people don't necessarily know anybody who's watching, but the last time he was on the show, that was actually the first time we met.
Right.
We met about 20 minutes before we started going live on that. And it was interesting circumstances, but all three of us had a lot of fun with Mikey, and we're just like, we got to get that guy back,
Dude,
so
I love it, man. I'm happy to be back, and I'm really jazzed about this episode. Let's do it.
Yeah. You're on a rotation now. So like,
cool.
We'll bring you.
Part of the cool kids.
Yeah, you're locked in. You're gonna be syndicated in 2 more shows.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa, we got people.
Whoa, what's going on back there?
Whoa! Don't look back
Hamburger.
there.
Home invasion.
It's like reverse Santa Claus.
Yes. All right, we're gonna just pretend that didn't happen, and we're gonna talk really quick about the fun show we have planned for tonight, or whenever you're consuming this. I guess it doesn't have to be tonight.
No, it has to be tonight.
We are dying to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4. But before we dive into that, we've got some news and rumors to discuss, a brief chat on a nerd topic of my choosing, and stick around after for more Multiverse Bingo. As a reminder, this is also a chance for you to pick our brains about any Marvelous trivia or points of confusion that you may have, maybe like with the show or whatever random stuff we have to say tonight. We'll be checking the comments throughout the show. And for those that can't get enough of us, you can visit patreon.com/denxmedia immediately after this broadcast ends for our live post show, The Soapbox, where we wind down and talk about stuff we didn't get to in the first 1.5 hours of this show. So yeah, it's a wild party. You never know what we're going to talk about. Sometimes I'm kind of glad that nobody's there to listen to us. But it's cool.
Yet.
But
one day we will have a following, and one day we will get canceled for the things we say in the soapbox.
Oh God, why
That's
do you
for
promise
sure.
things
No.
like this?
No.
Why do you promise things like that? Before we get into the news, like Mikey, what have you been up to since last time you've been here?
Hanging out with
Nice.
this guy, right on cue.
Spider-Man
just
fan.
hanging out. Yeah, working hard, man. You know, it is COVID's been holding us down, so I've had a lot of opportunities to catch up on all the stuff that's been coming out. I don't know if you guys have watched the new Godzilla and King Kong movie.
Oh
but...
yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about it last week.
Oh really?
What did you think about it?
I know what he thought about it. I saw
you
his
know
post today.
exactly. It was trash. Like I'm really mad that people in Hollywood are getting money to make these movies, man. It's like you mean to tell me that they basically took King Kong to the middle of the earth, to his house that had doors, to his tool shed to get an axe to come back and kill this big lizard. That was the premise of the movie, right?
Yes.
It was terrible, man. The writing was terrible.
For anybody that's joining us, we just spoiled that movie.
Oh, if you ain't watched it by now,
I bet you didn't
I
see
just
that coming on the
appreciate like
Marvelous.
how they took Godzilla the reboot back in 2014, and that was a fairly, I guess, serious movie in terms of tone. And then they just like the original Godzilla series, they turned it into Smash Fest 2020, Kong versus Godzilla. They're going to the center of the earth with the axe and shit. Like I can appreciate it going bonkers. Like let them.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's supposed to be a monster movie. It's supposed to be fun. Watch it, blow up stuff, beat each other up. It's like they couldn't figure out something to happen in between those fight scenes.
Sure, yeah.
Something that would just keep me there long enough for the next fight scene to come on screen. It's like it was terrible. I mean, the story was absolutely ridiculous. Journey to the center of the earth.
That's Brendan Fraser's best movie.
You won't get any argument from me. Like I have no I guess dog in that fight. I guess if that's appropriate to say.
Sure.
No dog in that fight.
I don't know.
I
Horse in that race.
I have no monkey in that knife fight.
Yeah,
horse
international
in that race,
waters.
Whatever thing. Like I just don't care enough about them, and I also feel like it's this weird case of like cultural appropriation every time like America tries to like make a better Godzilla movie than Japan. It's like, but yeah, you're kind of missing the point. Like, if you when you do it. So
I mean,
Godzilla
they could
peaked
always,
in 1998.
right? They could always bring Matthew Broderick back, right?
No.
The Godzilla's finest moment.
Bring out pregnancy tests for Godzilla again.
Well, one thing I did like, I like how the original Godzillas, like the Heisei and the original like Toho ones, all had something to say, whether it be about like the Cold War or just nuclear holocaust, nuclear fallout or something. The American ones don't have anything to say except for we're American. And we want money.
They try to make it seem like the monsters were like the Earth's immune system.
Yeah, exactly.
And what is that
Godzilla
really saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah, so like we're a bunch of germs running around on Earth, and he's trying to eradicate us all.
Sure, yeah. Also, like I liked how the Flag Smashers were actually in the Hollow Earth first because there was a red handprint on the door.
Oh yeah, that's right.
See, it all ties into Marvel. It all comes back.
This is why we rebranded many weeks ago to the Mostly Marvel podcast.
Right,
we can shit on King Kong.
Because that's exactly. There was a whole plan was just so that we could do that.
Right.
No, the reality is like we're a bunch of nerds and nerdy things come out that are superhero related or something like that, or a comic book, and we like the freedom to be able to talk about most things. It's just Marvel more than any other is very consistent about delivering something pretty much weekly to talk about.
We're finding that out every time a DC movie comes out. It's just. Did
you watch the Snyder Cut, Mikey?
I did.
You did.
Twice.
What'd you think? Twice. Twice in a good way, or twice in a bad way?
I gave it 8 hours of my life. Yeah.
Okay. I did the same. I did the same.
I did too. I did too.
I liked it. It gave it way more context. It almost needed 4 hours. If that makes sense. I mean,
I like the experiment that it was, right?
Right. I liked what he did. You know, it makes me go back and look at the original. Like, what was he doing? Like, you left that much stuff on the floor, man.
You know, my real hang up with it, and I know it's not fair to it, is that my hang up is that I still want to call it a movie, and it has no right being that long to be a movie. But it was cut for HBO Max. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
It was meant to be. The way he made it now is meant to be streamed, even though for some reason he did it in that 4:3 ratio because he's an idiot. But
I found out why.
That was dumb.
No, I know why. It's just dumb. It's still dumb.
Yeah.
It's just but I do appreciate that. Like, if you don't look at it as a traditional movie, if you look at it as an experience that you can go watch on your TV, like whenever you want, you can pause it, you can come back. Then it's cool because it is 4 hours of content. You know what I mean? Right. And it's not. And it is, you know, somewhat better than the original one. I think they both have their merits and they both have their extreme flaws. Right. And I think there's a great movie somewhere in between the two of them. But you know, whatever, it's fine. Yeah. It was better than Godzilla.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll sit to that point.
Yeah. But anyways, I think we have bantered long enough about random non-Marvel stuff.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Wonder Woman? Damn.
That's pretty far back.
I'm just kidding.
That was
Let's not talk about
it.
I'm
good.
Let's just spoil the ending that everyone renounces their wishes, though. I just want to spoil. I want to spoil a third movie for people.
He's just spoiling all the movies right now.
Yeah. Let's talk about Knives Out.
Ricky, let's not. Okay, no. Ricky, let's get to the news. Get to the news.
Alrighty, let's just kick it off with some rumors. We got Christopher Daniel Barnes is rumored to be joining the Into the Spider-Verse sequel, whatever you want to call it, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. So he is.
Why people like this guy?
He is who is the voice actor that played Spider-Man in the '90s show, right?
You didn't know that, Frank?
No, I didn't. The Spider-Man. Cool. That one's cool.
Yeah. No, he's not.
But isn't that the first time we see Spider-Verse, or is that where it came
Oh my
from?
God, no, your age is showing. And also the fact that you can't even like scroll down on Disney Plus is like amazing to me. Like
they have like on screen.
They have shows that are like 30 years older than this show on Disney Plus that you can go watch.
That do Spider-Verse?
That's not older.
Spider-Verse. What are you talking about, Spider-Verse?
Like the Spider-Verse concept came from this show.
No, it didn't. The Spider-Verse concept came from the toy companies talking to Marvel and saying, you know, what would be cool is if we could sell different versions of Spider-Man. That's where the concept came from. And that's what this did too, is this just said, oh, hey, here, let's sell all these different toys. Yeah. But no, that concept has existed before. They didn't call it the Spider-Verse really until Spider-Verse, like
2014.
Yeah, 2014 is when they called it Spider-Verse. But the idea of alternate realities and stuff, that's old. That's old comics, you know. That's old hat in comics. It's not. That show is not revolutionary. If anything, that show is revolutionary.
That's a pretty cool theme song.
That show is revolutionary.
So
that show is revolutionary for introducing or integrating CG into 2D animation, and that's all the credit I'll give it.
And then,
other than that, I hate that freaking show so much.
It does not hold up.
It didn't hold up then, man. Yeah. I was a Spider-Man. I was a hardcore Spider-Man fan my whole life. I saw that show. I wanted to embrace it with open arms. And I'm just like, what is this asshole doing? He's just constantly talking to himself all the time. And I'm like,
that's what he does in the books.
It's what he does in the books. But guess what? I get to read it in my voice and it's in his head. It just sounds crappy when this guy has to talk all the time. Like,
Okay, what do you like better, the '90s Spider-Man with the CG city, or the Spider-Man that came out on MTV with NPH as
yes,
that
yes.
one better?
I was
Okay.
about to just list it before you even did.
Oh
I was
man,
about
okay.
I was about to say it before you did. Yes, NPH all the way.
We got hot takes, ladies and gentlemen. Hot takes on the show
and
today.
NPH is a way better one. My
I'll
favorite
give you
one
that,
is
yeah.
my favorite one is Ultimate Spider-Man. But that's
the
in
Drake Bell
fairness-
Spider-Man.
Yes, in fairness, I have never actually sat down to watch all of Spectacular Spider-Man. And that's just because the timing was weird, and now like it's really hard to find because Sony owns it, and like
Yep.
you can't find it on Disney Plus and stuff.
You
so-
can
Latin
I just bought it
recording
on
artist
Amazon.
Drake Bell.
Yeah.
What's
Fun.
your favorite, Ricky?
Probably the Drake Bell one because I was too the '90s one was too old by the time I came out. So I was like, this looks like garbage.
Came out.
I have a special place in my heart for Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends, though, from the '80s
From the '80s,
with
okay.
with
1981,
Firestar,
right?
with Firestar and
That's-
Iceman.
Iceman.
Yeah.
Mikey, what's yours?
Whatever my son watches, dude. At this point,
Okay.
he watches the movie. He'll watch it, and then Ultimate Spider-Man he'll watch on Disney Plus. But that's as far as I ever watched
Ultimate
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's. That's the one where Donald Glover is Miles, right?
Was it?
No. Donald
He's
Glover
Miles in
is
one.
not-
Wasn't he
sorry.
just petitioning to be?
Sorry, Miles.
Yeah, he voices Miles in one of those shows.
You might be right. That might actually be an Ultimate.
Okay. My favorite.
Moving on.
My favorite Spider-Man is Batman Beyond. I think that's one of the best Spider-Man.
that is
cartoons.
actually a great answer because I have actually said that to you before.
Yeah.
But I was staying in my lane this time around, and there's a lot to choose from on Disney Plus, and so I was off of what's available there. Yeah, but in all honesty, go to HBO Max to watch Batman Beyond because it's a way better Spider-Man story than any other cartoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Which Spider-Man would I like to cosplay? Question from the chat.
Ooh.
I like the Spider-Man. What is it? 2099. I dig that suit. Actually, no, I lie. Is it Cosmic Spider-Man, the one with the blue mouth thing?
No, he's
Or
got the red
red
mouth.
He's got
The
a
red mouth with the blue costume. Yeah, that's a dope
Yes.
one.
It's a white costume, but that's
And
White costume.
and Clark, thank you. We see you talking. Yes, he did confirm you were right. It was Donald Glover in season 3 of Ultimate. Once I thought about it, I was like, wait, that actually does sound right. I think I remember that. Yeah.
right.
Okay, sorry, we hijacked that one.
Good content.
I was telling Mikey before the show. I was like, the news. We mostly just say like, "Oh, that's cool" or "That's not cool," and then here we are like, "Oh, die in a fire!" Like, whatever.
Yeah, this is awesome because I'm learning. You guys are
Yeah.
teaching me stuff I've never heard before, so that's cool.
I am not a fan of Christopher Daniel Barnes, and especially because in the Marvel Online video game that came out a few years ago, they cast Drake Bell as the voice of Spider-Man, and every fan ever was wanting to like rage quit on that game because they hated him, and so they ended up
He's
making
kind
a
of a shitty
deal.
person.
They make is he? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can't defend. But they ended up making a special deal for like a suit. One suit that they would sell for like $15, and they got Christopher Daniel Barnes to come in and do the voice. So it replaces the voice of Drake Bell if you want. And I was just so cranky because like that was one of those examples of like the fans winning and getting this thing that they complain about. And now that happens all the time. And now we have Snyder cuts and stuff. So whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a new
Which
world.
it's starting to open a Pandora's box because you see all these other. We want to recut these movies, like the Suicide Squad new cut or whatever. They want to make an extended version of the movie.
Release the Zemo cut when he's dancing on the dance floor.
I don't
How do we
hate
not
that
have a
idea.
meme? How do we
I
not
think
have that
it's-
meme ready to go?
I mean, all right. News. Renee Elsie Goldsberry is joining the cast of She-Hulk.
Who is that?
Well,
Again, I don't know who she is. Is she the
This
voice
is-
of Spider-Man in?
Well, this is her, and she's going to be
Okay.
playing a character referred to as Amelia. So I don't know who that is, but I was curious if you guys know who that could be.
That's Amelia Earhart. She's the first woman to fly solo across the
I
Atlantic.
thought she was the first woman in space.
Yeah, she's the first woman in
No.
space.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's Amelia Spaceheart.
I can't remember the character Amelia. It's honestly been a hot minute since I've read She-Hulk. I know I always talk about how much I love it,
Let's
but
look it up.
when I was reading She-Hulk the most, it was mostly just following her, and she didn't have like much of a supporting cast other than her coworkers at the law firm, and their names escape me completely. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But
Amelia Hopkins.
Anybody in the audience? Oh, you got it. You got it, Frank.
Yeah, she's
So-
Mikey's got a question.
human. Yep.
So how did the character She-Hulk come about? What was her backstory?
Good
Jennifer
question.
Walters is the cousin of Bruce Banner, and she ends up in the. I think she actually there's an assassination attempt on her because she's like a lawyer, and so she ends up in a hospital. And Bruce comes because like he's the closest relative around, and they're like, she needs a blood transfusion or she's gonna die. And so Bruce goes in the other room and he has like his cool Christopher Daniel Barnes inner monologue for like 5 minutes and says, I'm conflicted because if I give her my blood, she might become a Hulk, but if I don't, she'll die. And so he's like, yeah, it's better this way. So he gives her his blood.
That she dies.
And then
Oh.
no, she doesn't die. So that's how. But she has quickly learned to control it, and hers kind of manifests differently. So originally it started by anger triggering it, but shortly that didn't last very long, and she kind of learned to control it. So kind of like Bruce does in the in Endgame, right? How he's just always Hulk by then. Yeah, she figures out how to be that, and she actually likes being that more than being her normal self. So she actually practices law as a big green woman. It's pretty hilarious.
It's a blood transfusion. It used to be, you just have to worry about AIDS or syphilis. Now, turning into
Like
Hulk.
Worry about
Yeah.
gamma.
Well,
Yeah.
in fairness, back when that story was written, there was no such thing as AIDS, so you didn't
that's
have to
true,
worry
too.
about AIDS. Yeah,
AIDS
Yeah.
wasn't
Oh my
invented
God.
until the 80s.
They
It
didn't
was.
have
Oh, wait,
a
no,
name
that was
for
in
it.
1980, right? 1980 is her first appearance.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like
okay,
he's
so
older.
all right, so we're gonna discontinue this talk because it's probably gonna get weird.
Okay.
But Seacow Soda did want to point out that she's from Hamilton, and
Yeah, she
that
plays
is where
Angelica.
that's where I recognize
Oh,
her.
is that who that is? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, now I like her more.
Yeah, I do
Then
too.
I remember. Yeah.
Now I'm interested.
But in fairness, I don't get mad at these casting announcements. I just always say it's probably going to be awesome because, very rarely am I disappointed by the casting
Wait,
decisions.
didn't you
of Marvel.
get mad at the She-Hulk herself casting decision?
No, I mean, I can't.
I'm not
say
mad.
that
I'm just
We
disappointed.
wanted Allison Brie.
No,
Yeah,
I
Alison
wanted
Brie would have
Allison.
been great.
I wanted Allison Brie, but it's not fair. I can't be mad at the person that I don't know much about because I don't watch Orphan Black. So, like, it's not that I'm mad. There's probably a good reason they chose her instead of Allison Brie. I just really would have loved it to be Allison Brie. That's all. I'm not gonna like direct any anger at Tatiana or whatever. her name is.
Maslany.
Yeah, Maslany.
Yeah, she's a great actor.
Disney has set the opening date for Marvel's Avengers Campus. This
June 6th.
is
Oh, spoilers.
Avengers Land. It's actually June 5th.
Oh,
June 4th,
double spoilers. Oh, triple spoilers.
Wait, is it like tiered for different races or something?
Oh my, what are we doing?
What?
Sorry, I'm just going where Falcon and the Winter Soldier likes to go. Never
Nope.
mind. My bad.
Oh, no, I'm down. I'm kind of bummed. I like Bugs Life Land in California Adventure, but I would take Avengers Land over that any day.
You used to.
I in a pre-COVID world, that this would be very exciting to me. I don't know that I have any desire to go to a theme park for the next 5 years or so. So we'll see. But
I'm sure it'll be less crowded by the time.
I'm sure Ricky will let me know how fun it is on June 5th.
I'm only bummed about the Tower of Terror. How it was replaced like 3-4 years ago with the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Yeah, right.
I like the Guardians of the Galaxy thing a lot.
I think it's an upgrade.
As a fan of old movies and horror, especially, like I was kind of bummed to see Twilight Zone go away. So that's just my take. That's my take. You cannot like 90s Spider-Man. I cannot like.
I've never been on Tower of Terror. I had a chance to go once in Florida. Like we got in line with I was there with some friends in Florida and got in line and learned my friend is a big scaredy cat of drops and stuff like that. So he didn't. So we wanted to like warm him up to it, right? So like we're like, okay, we'll come back to it later. And so throughout the day, we kept checking in on him to see if he's okay. No, and then finally, around 4 o'clock or whatever, we head over there to go do it. And then we found out like it was this weird Florida. It wasn't like the main park. Like it wasn't. It was like the
because
they have a
Hollywood
park. Yeah. And so like around 4 or something like that, the ride's closed because we found out the park's getting ready to close, and we're like, "Why is this park closing at 4 o'clock?" And it was like, "Yeah." So I.
How did you train your friend? Did you make your friend trust fall on you guys?
Well, the cool thing is it's Florida, and it's really easy to hide a body. So. Yeah,
I was a fan of the Twilight Zone ride too. But I'll say to
gator.
Yeah, find a friendly gator in a tree.
Like the fact that they get the actors. No, I think the fact that they get the voice act or the actors to show up in these roles at Disneyland, I think that's pretty cool. Like
that's cool. Was it Bradley Cooper was a Rocket?
Yeah, the whole cast
was Rocket and everything. Oh, the whole cast. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you've never been on that ride?
No, I hate it. I hate it just like general principle.
Oh, it's the whole cast, including Mantis.
Yeah. I'm afraid of drops. I was his friend in that story.
Wait, you're supposed to be dead.
Yeah, I cut out of the gator. It's fine.
Oh no.
Sorry, we were adding drama into the show. Like Ricky talked about that.
By the way, I didn't actually murder anybody in Florida that time.
Yeah, allegedly.
Take me into some Marvel Legends news, Dennis.
Okay, fine. I'll do it. That's actually the safer way to do this. Mikey, just so you know, last week Ricky tried to take us on some Marvel Legend news, and he got totally April Fooled multiple times.
Bamboozled.
So he was trying to show us news that wasn't news, and I was like, "That's not real. That's not real, bro.
That's a human fact check right there."
Yeah. It was a human fact check. It was pretty funny. Just so you guys know, Hasbro had their giant first ever virtual fan fest today, and with it came like a ton of reveals on all of their different products, like Power Rangers, Star Wars, Fortnite, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Marvel. And I only cared about the Marvel stuff. And so it was cool because they let you they showed you a bunch of stuff, and then pretty much they let you buy all that stuff immediately after they showed it to you. And then it was, I'm sure they made $1 bazillion today off all their products. But that is not new. So technically this was official. No, this was Monday. They revealed this. This was Zemo from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Cool figure. They revealed him on Monday on the Marvel Mondays. I learned that Marvel is actually the ones that reveal these figures the first Monday of every month. I thought it was Hasbro, but Hasbro just does it as a follow-up, share move, basically. So the reason they haven't officially revealed this whole wave is because they're waiting on Marvel to finish doing it. And I think Marvel is trying to stretch it out all the way until Loki's done, because they don't want to spoil anything. So they're just drip feeding one figure every month. So we've seen Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Zemo. And then on Thursday night, as a warm up to the event on Friday,
Blonde Zemo right here. Blonde Zemo.
They teased the premium to the premium members a possible 2-pack. Not sure if it's going to be packed that way for sure, but this is a Domino and Cannonball from the 1990s Rob Liefeld created
Your
X-Force
favorite.
team. I hate Rob Liefeld, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love those comics. I did. I loved them. I loved them
Those
back
are cool
in the day.
costumes.
Yeah, they're very 90s. All the pouches in the world you got to have on these characters.
It's important to have a thigh pouch.
You got to have
Yeah,
thigh
for-
pouches all the way around.
Where would you keep your
God.
coordinates if you didn't have a thigh pouch?
Yeah, and then a lot of these pictures I actually supplied Ricky from either or maybe these are from today. Actually, these pictures
These are from today.
Yeah. But they were just this is the normal Hasbro team. Dwight in the middle is actually the main lead designer of all Marvel Legends, and he's hiding behind one of the multiple heads for the HasLab Sentinel that will be
That's
getting shipped
pretty
out
big.
to people in
Cool.
August. Yeah, it's as big as
Has no one ever seen his true face, or?
No, they usually
Just-
his face
he's
is
just a
usually
sentinel.
visible. Usually visible. He just thought that was a fun way to start the show. And then so yeah, they showed off a new wave of the retro carded figures. I honestly, the more and more I see these, the more I freaking love them. I know 5 points of articulation is a weird thing, for a lot of people nowadays, because like this is what we grew up with. I'm assuming Mikey, you grew up with toys like this too, right? Where there was just
for sure, the action figures, man, with the kung fu grip, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
man.
just the legs, the arms, and the neck were all that really moved, right? And so they decided it would be cool if like they created a line of figures like that.
Well,
because
they saw Super 7 make a ton of money.
Yeah, Super
making
7
toys
makes
like
a ton of
this.
money doing that of everything, and so they have the Marvel license. And for fun, they even put that little Kenner logo on there because Hasbro owns Kenner. So I promise you, Kenner's not making anything because they don't really exist as a company
All right.
anymore.
You promise though, if we find out otherwise.
Yeah. So we just saw.
Why did they go with his luchador costume? I don't understand.
Because they're trying to go classic and retro. So they went with a gray Hulk, and then they're going with a classic Vision in his
classic
costume.
Legends logo in the corner.
I know, right? I hate that. I hate the logo. I just wish they wouldn't call it that. Yeah. And then here's a relook at the Quasar that they announced, I think, a month ago. But this is just seeing him in the box. He's going to be a Walgreens exclusive. So any of you that happen to go to Walgreens before me, get it for me, and then I'll
when you get your vaccine, get a Quasar.
This is Super Zemo and Robo Zemo right here.
And then here is the new wave that they showed off today. It's actually a full Iron Man themed comic wave, and they've shown this Ultron before. It's classic. you got it in my head. You got it in my head, Frank.
Fire Zemo.
This is classic Ultron with like
this is a sexy Ultron. I like this.
The Jack Kirby like fire coming out of his mouth. It's pretty cool, right?
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah. And then
Green Zemo.
I want to know. Yeah, no, Frank, do you know who this is?
I don't. Reptile from Mortal Kombat, I believe.
That was good. That's a good second guess.
Wait, no, is that the guy from He-Man that gets killed in the first scene? The lizard guy.
Why does he have a thong on his face?
Oh yeah.
This is an army building figure, actually. This is the Vault Guardsman. Vault. I believe the Vault was like another prison besides like the Raft, or it's a prison, right? Or is the Vault?
Let's clickety clack.
Yeah, but this is old school. But these are guardsmen.
What I love about it the most is the pose he was in.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Power stance.
Definitely ready for action.
Yeah. What is the reaction?
In 1986. It's like this tiny little prison on a hill. It's got like four silos above it. Like it's so weird. I don't even remember this.
Yeah, it's old school. And then here they did a cool thing. They redecoed I think Iron Man Mark 47. I think this is. But they made him into a hologram. But they made him into a hologram. So he's actually made of entirely blue translucent plastic, and then they paint like these cool little white decorative lines all over him. I think he looks really cool. Like, yeah, I like it. Some people are really big into translucent figures. Frank knows who this one is.
Blue Zemo.
You know what? At least he's not saying Mephisto as much this time.
He looks like Blue Beetle.
Oh, I forgot about that. Let's
Yeah, this is
that's the stealth armor, right?
Yeah, it's the stealth armor. It's the blue on top of blue with a little bit of red in there. It's a nice way to
mustache.
Oh, what?
Oh,
wow. That is thick.
Yeah. That classic 1980s porn star mustache on Tony Stark.
Oh,
I think it
Tom
looks
Selleck
badass.
would be
I think it
so
looks great.
proud.
Yeah.
I wanted
I
to
love
make a Zemo joke, but that looks so good.
See, you see, this is how this toy line gets you. There's always something that's
No.
just like, damn, that was amazing. Who's
Oh,
this,
Zemo.
Frank?
It
Oh, I
looks
hope
like
I hope you had a better
Rescue?
picture than this. See,
Or
Ricky,
is
do you
that
have another-
Riri Williams?
There
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Riri, aka Ironheart. She's like the new.
Is this the first Ironheart figure?
It is the first Ironheart action figure. That's cool, huh?
pretty
Soon
sick.
to be a Disney Plus show.
It will be a Disney Plus show too. Frank, who's this?
Blonde Zemo. No. That's it looks like Crystal. Crystal? Is it Crystal? No,
It's
Medusa.
Dark Star.
Dark Star.
God.
Yeah,
Is this
from the
X-Men?
those Russian that Russian group that Red Guardian is part of.
Okay. No, I
You
don't
remember? I don't. I forget what is it. What is it like the? It's not the Red Guard. I forget what they're called. Look it up. Dark Star, and then there's another member who is the Build-A-Figure, who is, I should point out, is not just a Build-A-Figure, but it is also a Build-A-Bear.
I'll
I'll be
I
here
thought my
all-
Zemo jokes were bad.
I'll be here all night, guys. All night. It's Ursa Major. I think this is freaking cool just because, like, this is why I never stopped buying this line, because they let me build figures as ridiculous as this grizzly bear man person. It's so good. It's so crazy.
All right, so it's Soviet super soldiers is the team.
Yeah.
But there's also a group called the Winter Guard. Which is probably what you're referencing.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
But Soviet super
90s
soldiers
AF.
has the bear. Yeah.
This is 90s AF. Mikey, do you recognize this one?
I do. That's very 90s for sure. With the almost a Superman logo kind of thing on his chest.
It's actually specific to a video game. Do you remember which video game?
I do not.
I'm going to
Is
take
this-
you for a ride. It's Marvel versus Capcom, Iron Man.
He needs a cannon,
Got it.
Yeah.
right?
Well, we don't know. We don't know that he's not going to have the cannon. We just
That's fair.
Yeah.
No,
This
now
this
that you
figure is
say that,
amazing looking.
The video game, they the big Capcom Marvel versus Capcom video game. Yeah, they used to have it in Japan, and you would go in there and get destroyed by these little 8-year-old kids in that game.
Yeah.
It would kick you off quickly.
I love it. I love it. But let's move on, Ricky. We've been hanging out with this for a long time. All these things, and then I think this is one of the last ones to show off. They're going to be. We talked about this before. They're doing an Infinity Saga wave of figures. We don't know how many figures, but this is the first one they showed off. It's Bro Thor in his full-on battle armor. I think he looks great. They apologize. They were saying like back in the when the movie came out, like Disney and Marvel were being very secretive about a lot of the concept art for that movie because they didn't want to spoil a lot of the moments. And so they never got to see that until the movie came out. So they couldn't have put out that product in time. And so this is their do-over to give us the Thor that we all deserve. I love him. I think he looks great.
And that's the news.
That was a lot of news. And I felt
All
like I
right.
talked a lot.
That was a lot of toys.
I talked a lot. That
You did,
was.
but-
I love that.
Dorian appreciated all of it. He was on the
Awesome.
side looking at all the toys,
Yeah.
calling
I'm
them
glad.
all out.
I'm glad I
I
could
don't-
do that for
I
somebody.
don't know how much you appreciate having to spend all that money on getting those toys.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't even worry about dollar amounts, man. It's
My
for
man.
both of us, honestly.
Would you mind adopting a 40-year-old with the red
Come on,
shirt?
man.
And
Why not?
cool. All right, I gotta go, guys. My dad's calling me.
Nice. All right. Before we get into the Falcon and Winter Soldier, I wanted to give us a chance to just get like some conversation going, so it's not just me nerding out talking about toys forever. So I came up with a question of the week, and this was kind of related to, my week of like one. We talked about Dwight Stahl. How he had his head hidden behind the that master mold, and they did a cool thing in that panel where they actually brought out Taboo from Black Eyed Peas, and he was praising him because Taboo is a giant collector of toys, and he was telling Dwight Stahl how he's like this amazing icon in the toy collecting community because he's responsible for creating all these amazing figures that are super detailed and encouraging people to bring out the inner child in themselves. And Taboo was saying how that's why he creates all the things he creates, because he never let go of that kid inside of him. And so it got me thinking, it is really cool how like everybody has their own little fandom pocket universes or bubbles or whatever. And we have our own niche things that we love, and we don't necessarily we recognize people that don't necessarily get recognized out there on the streets, or if people were still walking around on the streets. So pop up that question for me, Ricky, because it would be easier for me. So yeah, my question to you guys, just to get to know you guys better, is like, who is someone you consider a pop culture celebrity, even though they fly under most people's radars? So, like I was saying, I think Dwight Stahl is amazing, and I love seeing him at Comic Cons all the time, and I love seeing him talk about new figures because he's got such enthusiasm, and I promise you, people don't like pick him out on the street and ask him for like autographs or whatever and stuff like that. Like
you promised.
Yeah.
Promised. Nobody better do that in front of me.
You know what? You ain't gonna do shit if I break my promise. So shut up. So just shut up.
I got my dad here.
All right. So Frank's dad, why don't you go first?
Thank you. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, I really had to think about this when you kind of stumped me, because that's hard. I really think about what works for me, and me loving filmmaking as much as I do, I would have to say, and it might be cheap, but Akira Kurosawa. A lot of people don't know who that is outside of filmmaking, and how his influence has trickled down over all your favorite directors, what they do. Most recently, it's popped up in Mandalorian, the episode of Ahsoka in it. The same composition Kurosawa used way back in the day is still getting used today for a lot of action movies. A lot of people don't know.
Which movie do you think was being referenced specifically? Do you think it was The Hidden Fortress or Yojimbo, or which one?
I've seen a lot of Yojimbo in there. There's a couple of Yojimbo shots in there for sure.
That's why I brought it up.
Right.
I took a class learning all about Kurosawa and stuff like that.
And just the lone samurai or the gunslinger, because a lot of his movies got turned into spaghetti westerns and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That whole isolated person out in the middle is just me, mano a mano. Those I love those shots that pop up in these movies. Spielberg has said that's his favorite director. Just the influence of all your favorite director. That's their favorite director. So that'll be my guy.
That's a pretty good one. I like that, because I honestly would say, like, even though I love the things he's created, I could not pick him out of a lineup.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that's where a lot of people are referencing him.
The rap, but you don't know it's him.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, when I was watching, I was like, I know this. I know it's Kurosawa. They're doing Kurosawa. So
yeah. That's a good one. I like that. Frank, what's up? What's up with you? What do you got?
To Mikey's point, I was hoping you guys would bring up Ghost of Tsushima, since they have specifically a mode called Kurosawa mode. That's really looks really cool. I can't play the whole video game in that mode, but it looks really cool.
That's the only mode I've ever played so far.
Really?
Yeah, as soon as I started playing that game, I just saw the option and I turned it into that.
I just feel that game is way too beautiful not to be in color.
It messes with my head, because every now and then I play in black and white for like a while, and then just to see, I quickly pause, switch out of it, look at it, and I'm like, I don't like it. And I know it's super colorful and bright and everything, but like I got so used to the black and white and the Japanese and everything. Like it's beautiful, and it really does feel like a Kurosawa film.
Right.
So I just leave it that way. Yeah. In fairness, I didn't finish it though, because I will say it is hard to follow an action game while reading subtitles all the time.
That's fair.
Yeah. But Frank, what was your example?
Like I don't have any one person who's an example, but a lot of characters, or a lot of like character actors or stuntmen that have played like people like Michael Myers or Jason throughout the years. Like I like a lot of those people, and those are people I can readily recognize. Like Kane Hodder specifically played Jason from 7 to X. He also plays Victor Crowley in the Hatchet movies. Yeah, and I recognize that guy like 100% of the time.
And he plays Victor Crowley's dad too, right?
And he plays Victor Crowley's dad. Yep.
Yeah.
Dick Warlock, who played Michael Myers in the second Halloween movie. He was like the shortest Michael Myers, but of course they made him look like he was tall. And that guy also played. He played one of the robot men android things in Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, which is a pretty underrated Halloween movie.
Yeah.
But people like that, like George P. Wilbur, Nick Castle, Tyler Mane, like a bunch of people like that kind of go like unsung heroes.
Tyler Mane, Sabretooth in X-Men, right?
Yeah, he's Sabretooth in X-Men, but he was also in the newest Halloween.
Yeah. I like Clark's answer, even if I feel like it's still on the edge of being too recognizable. Kevin Feige, if for no other reason than he wrestled Marvel Pictures away from Ike Perlmutter to really let MCU expand. We all live in the MCU, but really no producer has been able to put so many ideas together. And that guy, honestly, he got his start on like X-Men as like an AP.
He was the one that made Wolverine do the silly Wolverine hair.
The hair,
He was the one that did that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have a selfie with Feige at Comic-Con.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've seen Feige. He gets approached for pictures quite often. But there was a time where I think Feige would have been a good answer to this question, but I think nowadays it's pretty hard to not spot that guy from a mile away. Yeah, especially because that hat. He's always wearing that hat. Yeah.
Always be branded.
Ricky.
He's too big, Clark. You got to come up with another one. He's too big.
Yes. There's the one of the entertainment editors at IGN.
I've seen him outside of Comic-Con, Clark. He still gets approached.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
The entertainment editor at IGN, his name is Jim Vivida. I've listened to his podcast about movies ever since I was a kid because it was just something to listen to. And I always just enjoyed his take and what he thought of films and, his critiques. And it was actually kind of funny. One year at Comic-Con, Dennis got me into a IGN party. And he was there. And I have like insane social anxiety, but I finally went up to him and said, hey, I'm a huge fan. I really enjoyed your work, and it's a trip to listen to you for all these past years, and just to say hi and say thank you. And he was like totally the nicest dude, really generous, and we talked for a bit about movies and whatnot. But it was just weird hearing a person for so long in your ear. To finally get to meet him and just say thank you, it was just a really cool little experience.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, celebrity is a weird thing because it's just what we make of it, right? Like it's you're famous because we decide that, and you're not famous because we decide that too. All right, I think I've held us back long enough from the thing that everybody wants to talk about, and I think the thing that hopefully people are tuned in to listen to us talk about. Let's do it, Ricky. Man, Ricky's on fire with these buttons today.
He's pushing a button.
It. He's got it. He's got them all. Got them all queued up.
Fiber internet.
Well, It's time that we put that spotlight on Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4. At this point, fair warning. I mean, you guys got to hang out with us long enough. It's 48 minutes deep, and Clark, you can stop giving us examples. It's time to talk about. it's time to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Fair warning: there will be spoilers. So thanks for everybody who hung out and hasn't watched the episode, but you should probably go do that right now. Then come back and then come back and join us on the rewatch or whatever. But yeah, since let's just really get into the episode. It was titled "The Whole World Is Watching," and I think that was a really cool title for the episode because it really hit the nail on the head at the end. I like to call this the episode where John Walker effed up big time.
He was basically like Kramer at the comedy club, right?
Oh,
Yes.
for sure. He
That was that
lost
level
it.
of F up.
And then he's like looking around at the cloud, like, what? What?
Like what I
Yeah.
do? Yeah. What?
Mikey, what did you think of this one? What was your favorite stuff about this episode? What'd you like? Oh, look at Lindsay really quick. She's got some hot takes once again. John Walker sucks.
I would have to agree with that. I gotta tell you, man, I knew something's been off with this guy since day one. And from the first episode when he popped out, I was like, I recognized that chin. I hadn't been with you guys on the first 3 episodes, so I was like, I recognize that chin. Who is this dude? And then, like, by a second, okay, that's Russ and Goldie's kid. Okay, got it. But
he looks like him too, man. It's
he
crazy.
looks just like him. But man, what a douchebag! I mean, just from the start, I mean, you can tell that something was wrong with the guy. And it was funny because later on in the episode, they even said it. Man, there's something wrong with that dude.
I think you're missing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think you're missing a really important adjective. What an entitled douchebag.
For sure. And the part that really struck with me, man, is once he got the super serum, and it went into mode about like almost like the athlete that realized that he is not up to par and he has to go chemically to get up to speed with everybody else.
Juicing.
How butthurt was he when he got whooped by Dora Milaje?
Well, first of all,
he didn't know.
Wakanda's nothing to be fucked with. All right, come on,
man.
He didn't know. He got put in his place real quick when they showed up, and he realized that he is just a regular dude. Like in the first 3 episodes, we were like, okay, this guy is like getting past with just his regular human, strengths. And he was still doing a lot.
They did say he was peak physical human, right? Like in the first.
Come on.
Yeah. No. I'm just saying, like he's like, they said MIT was studying his body or something like that. So he's the best he could be, but that ain't enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I have this insult when I used to get into a fight. I'd be like, I'm gonna beat your ass open handed, and like because I figure like that's the most demeaning thing you could do to a person, right? And like he gets his ass beat open handed by them. Like,
oh yeah, they slapped him. They
slapped him good.
He got some Ike Turner. He got slapped up big time.
Have some
and
cake.
He got really humbled. So
I know. I was asking you guys this earlier today, but have any of you guys watched Veep? The show
I know the show. I haven't watched it.
Oh man, it's lost on you guys. But there's a character on Veep named Jonah, and he's like designed to be hated. He is like the worst, most annoying, most inappropriate douchebag ever. And my neighbor, when he first saw John Walker, he's like, that guy is totally Jonah from Veep. And I was like, nah, he's not. Like, but that was me still wanting to defend John Walker because I know who he is in the comics and I know who he can be. But I was watching this episode today and I was like, this is totally him. Even especially when he goes up to IO and he's like, hi, I'm Captain America. And he's like pointing at himself. He points at himself. Yeah, he's like pointing at himself. I'm like, oh, just get out of here. Get out of here.
He just pointed to the A just in case she couldn't read.
Yeah.
To make
totally entitled. I mean, he's showing up and barking orders at basically Avenger vets. It's like who is this guy? You just got to this fight.
It cracks me up because Sam gave him a verbal open-handed ass beating when he's all like, "Oh yeah, the only thing you're running in here is your mouth."
Your mouth.
Like, I was dying.
That's such a good line.
That was good. Sea Cow Soda asked a really good question, and I think this was for Mikey. When was the first moment that you realized John Walker is literally the worst? She goes in on him all the time.
Honestly, it was what episode? It was episode 1 when they trotted him out in front of like the crowd, his hometown crowd.
Oh, 2.
That's the second episode. The first,
right. And they're doing like the interview, and it's just like, oh god, he is everything we hate about this shit. He is such a dirtbag. Not even a dirtbag. He's just, like I said, he's really full of himself. 3 Congressional Medal of Honors. Come on, man. I mean, who wouldn't be full of himself at that point? But for him to think he was going to step in that role of Captain America and just like
And just
embody who
Avenger,
he's supposed to be. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's just to think he was going to, I would have never, there's no way I would have ever stepped into that costume. Like, that's something that should have been retired. And like the whole argument that Sam and Bucky are having about giving that shield away, they should have left it where it was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think he's just doomed to fail.
Mikey is so passionate, he's getting violent with his equipment.
Oh,
there.
yeah, it's like
So I'm gonna toss
Yeah.
this.
Like now I just want to punch him in the face too.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell because I
Can't
asked you
miss
what
that
you
chin.
liked. I can't tell. I asked you what you liked about the episode, and I think we just went way into John
Yeah,
Walker.
sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. You can
That,
like
that could
him.
be what we
I,
like. We like
I
to hate him.
actually loved him in this episode because he was so easy to hate, right? Like he was just at every step. He's like,
He just-
oh, you so suck.
He
you suck
slid
so
into
bad."
his role that
the actor's doing his job well.
Yeah, I
like,
love Riot
so
Russell
perfectly.
in this role.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's so good.
It's perfect.
Yeah. I actually liked all the villains in this episode. I like in this story that we have, minus, Power Broker, which, we still don't know who that is. May or may not be Sharon, maybe working with Sharon. Who knows?
They said Zemo said something, the real Zemo this time. He said something about he knew the person before, or he knew him before. Before he was before the whole Winter Soldier thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he says that. Yeah.
I might have missed that one, but in any case, I really liked John Walker. I liked Zemo a lot because I think while John Walker is playing that character that's so easy to hate, I think you've got Carly Morgenthau playing that character that's actually really complicated, and like there's times where she feels very human, and then there's other times where she's literally threatening Sam's family back at home,
Right.
and you're like, dude, you're super evil. Don't do that. That's not cool. But then, like it's still a very complex thing because she's like on the fence, right? Like Sam can almost relate to her. But then, like aside from these two, then you have freaking Zemo, who's just a god on that screen, man. He's amazing. Like, and
He's
so
so
over the top.
For
he's
sure.
so over the top. And like a friend of mine, Travis, who we're gonna have on the show in a week or two, he actually pointed out like Zemo is Gollum-like to watch in that, like, remember Gollum from Lord of the Rings? Like you just wanted to see Gollum all the time. You wanted to see him, even though you knew that Gollum was not going to do anything nice for Sam and Frodo. You constantly wanted him on the screen because it was too fun. And so, like Zemo serving people,
Turkish delight
and tea and making the meals and stuff. And you're like, what are you doing? Why do you trust this guy so wholly? You should not. You just reprimanded him for killing a man, and you're still letting him walk around freely and make food for you. Like, oh man, I'm so amazed at how often everyone underestimates Zemo on that show.
So,
is this a picture of the Black Eyed Peas? Or is this where's Fergie at? She's not in this picture.
I didn't notice until now that Zemo's the only one they didn't change this past week. Like in terms of clothes.
Well, yes. Walker didn't. Well, no, he did change in the middle of the show. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got out of those clothes later. And then Clark was just pointing out, which is something I was kind of leading into, which is, I know Frank sometimes thinks this is an oversimplification, but I think, there's something to be said about a hero's journey being measured by the villains that he faces, right? And I think if this is Sam and Bucky's journey, man, they have some of the best villains right now. It's so fun to just hate all of them for different reasons. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, they really sold Turkish delights for me. Like Zemo, when he was singing to those damn kids.
You mean the Chronicles of Narnia didn't sell that to you?
Yeah. My wife was screaming, "Crossover! Oh my God, crossover! Mr. Tumnus is going to show up! Crossover!" And I'm all like, "Whoa!"
I mean, Zemo was straight pedo vibes when he was singing that song.
So he's so weird and in his own little weird world, man.
Yeah, totally. And I was all like, "What's he gonna do to these kids? He's gonna murder all these kids. What's gonna happen?"
But he's almost like the smartest person in the room in every
Also-
scene that he's.
No,
he's
he almost 100%
He almost is, but I really like when Sam puts him in check a couple times.
Yes.
Like that was,
The-
oh man.
Their
Let's
conversations
just
are
be for
amazing.
real.
There-
Anthony
there's a lot.
Mackie
There's
has
lots of love.
found his stride in this show.
Mhm.
He is fantastic.
That scene with him and Sideshow Bob was amazing.
He still calls Carly Morgenthau Sideshow Bob.
Sorry,
Right.
Carrot Top. Sorry, Carrot Top. Sorry.
Yeah, he is killing it. The just the buddy stuff between him and
Yeah.
you know such a great chemistry they have, and
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
It's a funny show because, like, every week we come on here and say, like, what did you like? And for this show, it's always like the characters. We like the characters because it's a character show. It's not trying to make us guess who's the mastermind or who's responsible for this or where's Mephisto and stuff like that. It's just a story with these awesome characters, and we just love seeing them. And exactly that chemistry sells every episode, even when they're bad, even when like they make bad. Like we weren't a big fans of last week's episode just because people were making dumb decisions left and right and stuff. But
well, we got to see Sam use his quote unquote superpower, his counseling skills, in a really neat scene with Carl. I mean, but they've established like that's one of the things that he's really good at,
Right?
And we got to see it, and that scene was really well acted, just with him showing genuine empathy for her position and her stance.
It's gonna be weird when the power broker's revealed as Mephisto. Like I think that's gonna be where the show kind of takes a turn.
Don't take him seriously, Mikey. He's playing with us.
But when he was talking to those kids, he was like building up his network. Like he was like he had a plan.
Oh, you're talking about Zemo.
I'm going back to Zemo's. Yeah, sorry. I'm going back to Zemo. When he was talking to the kids, he was kind of building his network, and that was really interesting. But it kind of parallels Sam and Bucky's kind of like building up their networks with Sam obviously, or it was implied that Sam called John Walker and Battlestar, right? Battlestar Galactica, because he's all, hold on, let me call a guy, and then he's all like, "Hey, you're over here." He literally called him,
Right.
So it's kind of cool that they all have their kind of go-tos. Zemo has some weird go-tos, but that's fine. He's Zemo.
Yeah. Ricky, what was something you liked about this episode?
Oh man, what did I like about this episode?
Turkish delights.
Turkish.
You're not helping him.
You got me hung up right now.
All right, we're moving back to Mikey. What was something you didn't like? We'll get back to Ricky in a minute.
That I didn't like?
Yeah. And it's not allowed to be more John Walker.
Yeah. Battlestar, he's almost just a throwaway character at this point. I mean, I know. They really did. Like, I didn't know anything about him before this series, and like you said, hopefully everybody's seen it by the time. But just that quick, he got relegated to nothing. So
yeah, I want to say, like, I think us being disappointed in the way he went out is kind of the intended effect, though. Do you know what I mean?
I was just disappointed in that character altogether. It just never. He just was really a yes man.
Well,
Captain America.
I don't know if he questioned him. He questioned him all the time.
He did. He actually put that guy in check a lot.
And his roots.
And I think the implication of him dying is like very bad, because like if he was his moral center. Ooh.
I feel like that was the biggest part he played right up at that point. Once he died, so that's going to flip a switch in that guy, in that character.
Yeah,
you guys, you could argue.
Yeah, it did. That was the result. I was like, as soon as he did that, I was like, oh, somebody's about to die.
Yeah, Carrot Top and her crew were like, oh god, and then they ran off. Yeah.
Did you like how the MCU interpreted Battlestar? Because he's a bad guy historically, right?
No. Well, yeah, kind of. In that he's kind of shady. Like he arranges for John Walker to get into fights that he knows John Walker can win. So he sets him up to look like a hero. And but it could have been implied that occurred when they were talking about what happened in the war. I got that implication. He's all like, hey, you won these 3 congressional medals of honor. Like I got kind of a hint that maybe Battlestar set that up without John Walker knowing, to make him kind of like feel better about himself, you know, to actually win that. I don't
think
know.
they kept him in place just to be his biggest cheerleader, just to get him to do stuff?
That's what I feel like. I get that implication, but he's dead now, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Like I'm almost surprised they didn't talk about the race thing. Like, all right, we have a new Captain America. We got to find the black dude to be a sidekick. You know.
Well, there's a lot. Well, there's a lot of racial stuff in the first couple. Like from the Captain America from Vietnam, what's the older black guy?
Korean War, actually.
Oh
Korean
yeah,
War. Yeah.
Isaiah.
Isaiah
that
Bradley.
was something I didn't know anything about. But it was like the scene out in the street afterwards when the cop showed up. That was a whole thing too, because they actually wasn't coming for, Anthony Mack. They were coming for Bucky.
Bucky. Mm-hmm.
Well,
so it was cool because they had a warrant out for Bucky. That's what it was.
No, it was they pulled over, they pulled up because they were having a visible argument,
right?
And then they ran a check on both.
They wound up taking the white guy.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, we have a new person who's joining our chat, Kamlesh Agrawal. And they're saying they saw something peculiar, a yellow color in the eye of Hoskins as he's dying, I think, or as he's getting free from the Flag Smashers. And he wants us to review it. Obviously, we're not going to review it right now because we're not going to do that on the show because of copyright reasons. But we would like to check that out at some point and see. Yeah, I'm curious what you actually think that means. What it's suggesting. Do you think that
he's alive?
Yeah,
because I did think it was weird when they showed his body again. They cut
back to him. Yeah,
which they don't normally do, like unless they're alive or something.
Yeah, I did get the impression that maybe there's something going on, but because we were talking earlier about how that death was really kind of lame, but then you were saying, well, maybe it's just because I watch a lot of violent stuff, and so I'm not used to tame Disney violence.
You think he's a Skrull?
Kamlesh is saying he thinks he's a Skrull. Well, that's a cool theory, and if it's true, we broke it first, guys. No, actually,
we broke it first. You heard it here.
Kamlesh broke it first, but
okay. So, what is a Skrull?
Skrull are the aliens that we've seen in Captain Marvel and Spider-Man: Far From Home,
and WandaVision.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, WandaVision at the end. Yep. Yeah.
She was the one that was telling
the shapeshifters.
She was telling Monica that there's raccoons up in the attic that want to meet Monica. Or was it raccoons or was it squirrels?
Yes, it was all of those things.
It was one of those.
But thank you for joining us, and we'll like to check that out and just stick around and keep asking us questions and stuff. But
I liked how they looped back to Sam's home life with bringing his sister in with that kind of
Well, I was saying
that terrorist call.
I was praising them last week for still referencing that. So yeah, it seemed we mentioned last week that it looks like they're actually going to keep this Sam stuff going on, and that's cool. I appreciate the stuff in his life. But yeah, Carly made it awkward, man. And by the way, Carly knew about his family before Sam even mentioned it to her.
She sure did.
My question is because she's like, I'm fighting the people that are trying to take your family's land. And I was like, how does she know that?
Wikipedia.
I guess. Is that something?
I mean, it's not like public knowledge that you're about to lose your home or your house.
Yeah, exactly. That was very specific, and I was just weirded out by that. But yes, Carly's got resources, man. And I'm not saying that it wasn't shown in the show that she doesn't have resources. I'm just that was surprising. Anyways, what is another thing that stood out to you, Mikey?
I mean, to me, that burned in my mind is that last shot, man. I mean, with the shield and the blood, the low angle shot of him. I mean, that just said it all, man. That just yep, there it is. It's how do we get to this?
We were talking in the chat about this, and I feel like John's reaction to Hosker Battlestar dying, I can on some level understand why he followed him and attacked that guy, the guy, but you just kind of know deep down that seeing blood on that shield is just inherently wrong.
Right.
Like that's the line right there.
It's super serum roid rage.
You guys are assuming it's blood. It's actually part of Mephisto.
No.
And or actually no, it was a jar of jam, cherry jam that guy was going to take home. And then Walker just broke it.
Texas Pete.
Yeah, he just messed it all up.
This is what we do this for right here, is so that Frank can do that.
I'm actually looking up Turkish delights on my other screen right now because I'm gonna look for some to order.
All right.
Fair, I thought Turkish delight was something else.
So I did look it up, Kamlish. You're not wrong. There is a weird thing that his eye does at that 43:39 mark. So who knows? Yeah, who knows?
Okay.
Maybe there's something there. Yeah.
So
go too soon.
The thing that stuck out to me the most of this show was how did Walker know how to use that serum? Like, it's in this weird, like...
Oh, man, I was totally thinking that earlier.
I said for rectal use only.
That's exactly where I would put it. I don't know if that's just my mind.
Is it like some kind of deployable needle? Is he just about to inject himself right now? Or
you guys stealing my jokes here.
Yeah, like, is it a pill that you got to swallow after
it's a
meals?
suppository.
I actually did look. Yeah, that was one of mine too. Damn it.
It's not the supervisor.
That would be the first place I would put it.
I did see a little cap on it with a little needle on it, so I did see that on there. So
there's a little tiny cap, like a little Chris
little,
Evans,
little baby cap. Yeah,
right. I mean, are they not needing that large charge of power anymore to activate everything? Or
no, remember the doctor in the last episode said that he refined it and made it more.
They wrote that part. I missed that.
He made it more chill, right? So now it doesn't create jacked up bodies. It makes it leaves people looking the same as they did before.
Comes in a topical cream now.
Yeah, okay. Or I think
Sativa blend.
I think it's still rectal, but yeah.
It's definitely still rectal.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I did have that question. But I was like, whatever. How many of you thought that for a brief second when Zemo picked up that vial that he was going to show us how it works?
Never. Never even crossed my mind. I knew he was going to just smash them all. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I thought he might have took one, but I didn't get the hint that he might have that he wasn't. He was going to take it right then and there.
Right.
That seemed like a stretch.
I didn't expect him to stomp on him either like that.
I do appreciate that he's a man of principles and convictions to his principles, because man, he just started smashing everything, and
yep,
it was pretty.
I liked
it was
his
pretty
little
funny.
supremacist speech that he gave to Sam. Like,
it was cool, but I like Sam's. Like when he threw it back in his face later about how Zemo is saying that super soldiers can't exist, and he's like, that's how gods talk, and so.
Yep.
It was, and it made Zemo think for a second, and Sam also threw it back in his face later when, he's like, okay, if all super soldiers got to die, what about Bucky? And I don't know, Zemo.
They let that hang.
He's all screw Bucky. No, he said, what about Captain America? And then he's all like, he's cool. He's chill.
Well, he asked about Steve earlier, but in a different conversation. But yeah, when he was like, so you got to kill them all. What about Bucky? And he's like, he didn't.
He winked at me. He looked right at me in the camera.
Gotcha.
I got this, Frank.
Yeah. No,
episode 6, son. Me and Mephisto teaming up.
Yes. Oh my God. You don't know how hard it is for me to cut out all the Mephistos out of our show. It's so hard.
Let it ride.
He's one of our sponsors, actually.
Yes. What do you guys? I got a question for this one's more for Frank, because I know Frank often doesn't like when Marvel cuts to a joke in a very tense situation. But I thought this episode was a very tense episode that had some really amazing jokes land because of the level of tension that was going on all the time.
Yeah, they landed like a shield into someone's neck. Was that too soon?
No.
I mean, those landed really well. Those landed.
What joke in particular were you talking about?
I really liked when Winter Soldier, Bucky and Zemo were arguing, and then Sam's like, don't do this with him. Don't get into this argument with him. He'll just extort you and then do that stupid head tilt.
And as he's doing the tilt,
and Zemo's doing the tilt, and it was just killed me because like
That was good.
Sam is he's such an observer of people, you know what I mean? And so like it's a skill that you need to have if you're a counselor, you know, like if you're helping people with grief, you need to understand, you know, microaggressions and body language and all that stuff. And so I really like that he just like in that joke there's a lot of complexity to that joke, but it was just super funny because Zemo felt called out. And that's how I felt like this whole episode is Zemo just kept getting called out by Sam on all his bullshit. It was beautiful. Like I don't know, I laughed out loud on that one.
I like the bit. I can't believe Zemo pulled an El Chapo.
Yeah,
It's nice to know that El Chapo still exists in that universe.
Yeah, I mean, most things do. I think another one. I'm not sure this one hit as funny, but I felt it was the need for clarification was hilarious, which was when Zemo was comparing the Nazis to Ultron and the Avengers, and then Sam's like, "Hey, those are my friends you're talking about," and then Bucky's like, "The Avengers, not the Nazis."
Yeah.
Frank hated that joke.
I mean, I don't mind those jokes because it's just kind of banter and it felt natural. The jokes that I hate are when like they have a serious situation and then they're all like Ralph Boner and there's all you know, it's like stop it, Marvel.
Did you laugh when Walker got his ass kicked by the Dora Milaje and then he's in there saying they weren't even super.
I thought that was kind of a little cheese.
That whole scene was amazing to me. I loved it.
Yeah,
my favorite part of that scene is when they took Bucky's arm off.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was cool.
I was like,
the 5-point exploding heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And then his arm just dropped off.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Just like
I loved watching that.
She disarmed him. She totally disarmed him.
Yeah, I really liked seeing. I like seeing that Io and Bucky have this special relationship, and that she's kind of like his therapist that kind of helped him get through the whole code word thing.
Sebastian Stan in that opening was
some acting, man. That was pretty good acting.
Earning his paycheck in that one.
Before we get too far from the arm thing, I liked his patented Bucky arm swing that he does whenever he has to reboot it.
I love that swing.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know why. It's just he developed a little tick. It's a tick, and I love it.
It's patented. He gets a nickel whenever it happens.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
But you were asking about jokes. I think that when they're well placed and they're fun, I think that's cool. One of the things that I laughed at, I laughed out loud, was when after the Dora Milaje came in and beat John Walker's ass, she did the Marty McFly Captain America shield thing where she like stepped on the shield and then caught it, and then she looks at him like
she was gonna take it because it's their vibranium.
Yeah. She's on mine, bitch.
And then Io's like, no, let him keep it.
So let the baby have his bottle.
Let the baby keep it. The other one that made me laugh was when Walker and Sam are getting ready to fight some more Flag Smashers, and they pull out more knives, and he's like, "What's with all the knives?" Like, I don't know why I love that so much.
Like, I don't know why being a super soldier needs to stop you from using guns, right?
Well, it's a reference to the first movie when they're talking about the Nazis aren't gonna come at you with pocket knives. Like
That's
he
true.
says something like that, yeah. And then later on in the Winter Soldier, Bucky comes at Cap with a knife, and he's doing that thing where he's like, and then he's like, blocking.
Well, I think I just want to make sure, because I know we're gonna run short on time eventually, but I do want to make sure that we talk about something that was really big and meaningful in this episode, which was that this showed us more of the world post blip and what I guess the first blip really also, right? Like Sam got to learn from Carly about the world that existed before the second blip happened,
and his
right?
sister.
Yeah, no, but for sure he got to learn that from his sister, but he got to see people who are displaced, quote, refugees. Like his sister wasn't a displaced refugee, right? Like she's just somebody that had to live through the hardship. But Carly and all these other people that now that went to other countries that welcomed them with open arms, suddenly are kicking them out because they don't want them back. They don't want them anymore. And so that's what's happening with everybody. And so I really thought it was interesting because like that was Thanos's kind of whole thing, right? Is that every world would be better if half the people were gone, because the resource management wouldn't be a thing, and everybody, like the borders and all these things, would go away. And they did. They kind of, all of that happened, man.
Are you saying Thanos is right?
I'm saying the show is implying on some level Thanos was right.
People were able to get PS5s like on launch day. Yeah, it was a good time for everyone.
Yeah. Not everybody, because Korg still had a
no
PS4.
lines at Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Man.
Korg
Hey,
still had a
you know
PS4.
what? Let me tell you something. So yesterday, I was riding all around town trying to find a PlayStation 4 controller. I couldn't find one anywhere. Like, seriously, like the whole city is sold out. Like, I started at San Ysidro at the GameStop there and came north and was hitting every GameStop. And I couldn't find one. None of the stores have them. Nobody. I finally found one in like a GameStop in Spring Valley. And all they had was the black one.
From San Ysidro to Spring Valley, holy crap.
Right. I was like, what is going on? Is there like a control shortage with these video games? What the hell's going on right now?
Yes, there is. I don't know.
It's because of me. I'll tell you guys a story about PS4 controllers.
You don't want to know what Frank's doing with all the controllers.
Yeah.
So
You'll see.
I feel like
this is an after-hours story.
I feel like this is a soapbox story right here, guys.
Yeah.
So let's do this later. I was just like, when you were talking about it, I was like, what's going on?
It's true. Thanos was right. If half the population were gone, you'd get a PS4 controller.
Yeah. This is why Frank is the wild card of the group, because he could bring up any funny joke that could lead us down the craziest rabbit holes ever. But yeah, no, I just really thought that was a cool, responsible thing that the show was doing, is just showing us or telling us more about that world that has created all of the drama that's happening on this show right now, right? Like it sucks. And I mentioned before, but I think it's really
complicated. All these characters and their situations that they're in, they all live in a state of gray. It's not, Sam's the greatest hero. It's not Carly's absolutely wrong. They're all in this weird gray area, and I kind of dig it.
And that's something interesting, because you brought that up. Like I was pointing out, like I thought one of the cool themes of this episode was that whenever somebody did win, like, or at least one of the heroes won, it always came at a sacrifice, right? Like they're always that nothing was a clear win, right? Like I know, Ricky, you were complaining to me earlier today that you felt the Dora Milaje should have secured Zemo before beating up all the bad guys, and
Yes.
then I laundry listed all the times the Dora Milaje has actually failed to do anything like that in all the movies, and the only times we've ever seen the Dora Milaje win are when Black Panther or the Avengers are with them. Surprisingly, that was kind of a bummer to realize that. So Marvel, get on that and make them look cool without the help of men, because that was a bummer to realize.
That's the whole point. That's their whole thing.
Right.
Well,
not their whole thing. But, that's.
I don't know. You get to say that when you haven't read their comics. But I appreciate the spirit of what you're saying.
I do like the Dora Milaje in the Reginald Hudlin Black Panther comic book. I think they're really cool, and they're really well represented in those comics.
Yeah.
I don't think Black Panther is well represented in those comics, but that is another episode of the soapbox.
But that was just one example. I mean, obviously, John Walker thought he was going to win that battle, but that came at a serious price. He dirtied his shield. He has to get that cleaned now. He has to send it out to Wakanda to get everybody thought they could just use Zemo however they want, and that came at a price. They didn't get to keep a Zemo. And I understand this is like episode 4 out of 6 episodes, so you're supposed to get to a low point, which I think we hit a really nice low point today. But it was just nice to see this, kind of, there was no clear win for anything that happened throughout that whole thing.
Zemo won.
No, sorry, I
Yeah.
meant for the
Oh,
heroes.
oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
I did clarify that earlier because I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, my fault.
Zemo won all the way through. Not a question.
Zemo wins our hearts.
Zemo wins
And
our
Turkish delight.
Yeah, and that too.
What's next? Because I'm kind of lost on. Obviously, we still need to figure out who or what the power broker is, but I'm trying to fix. You can't. I haven't been able to piece together the end game of this. Like, where do we go from here?
Well, let's talk about that really quick because I think we got to get into bingo afterwards and stuff. I had a theory, some predictions, I guess. I used to think that this show was going to end with Walker being redeemed because I was like, just wait, it's totally going to be cool by the end of this.
He's got it.
I take that back.
They got 2 episodes.
He is not going to be redeemed by the end of this season of the show, but that's fine. It's Sam and Bucky's show, so let them come out on top at the end of the show. Hopefully, jeez. But I do think that Walker is a character that's going to persist, and he can be somebody that can be redeemed later, maybe in the Thunderbolts movie or something like that. You know what I mean?
He'll be redeemed in the second mid-credit scene of the Shang-Chi movie.
I think that's too soon.
Too soon?
I'm thinking he'll be redeemed in maybe like 2025.
2025, okay.
He needs some time.
In the Fin Fang Foom.
He murdered a person. He murdered a person in broad daylight in front of everyone.
Allegedly. I didn't see no body.
Nope.
All I saw was a little strawberry jam on the shield that he has to clean.
I mean, once you classify someone as a terrorist organization, all hands are, you can do whatever.
Right.
Drone strike.
Right. What are your theories, Frank? What do you got? What do you think's going to happen?
Power broker. I think they were saying that the power broker was going to be someone special, someone that'll bring you to tears. So I'm hoping for a good actor with the power broker. I know that
they have been teasing a cameo next episode.
Aunt May. It's Aunt May.
But Rosemary Harris, Aunt May. You're acting awfully strange, Peter.
It has to be Marissa.
If it's gonna bring you to tears, Steve Rogers.
I was thinking that.
What if it was Steve Rogers?
What if it was Chadwick Boseman and it's like his last film scene? That would be incredible. Like that'd be cool. It's like a good send off.
I would say you have a higher chance of seeing Chadwick Boseman than Steve Rogers.
You're saying it's Chadwick Boseman? Okay, you're agreeing with me, Ricky?
I feel like they might have something before he unfortunately passed. Like,
I appreciate you agreeing with this very outlandish.
It's like I always say, Ricky dreams big. He dreams big.
It's like I always say, avian telepathy will happen.
Yeah, Ricky, what do you think's gonna happen?
Oh God, I think we're gonna see Sam, come face to face with some of his actions over in Europe. Either whether in his home life, like I think it's gonna get even more personal for Sam in the next episode.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And Mikey, were any of those answers satisfying for you?
Sure. Yeah, but I think I foresee the new Captain America really going off the rails, and within the next 2 episodes, them having a big, huge fight with him in Winter Soldier.
They're taking him down next week. Next week.
That's coming. It's going to be a huge, epic fight.
Yeah.
I don't think America will be upset with him killing that guy. I'm sure they will put some spin on it.
I think they're going to rebrand him.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to spin it in a way that, he took out a terrorist, whatever. But I think he's going to continue to do stuff like that. And Sam and Bucky's going to have to stop him at some point.
I think, like Frank's saying, he's going to get rebranded as the U.S. agent, and he's going to be in charge of doing covert ops and no longer in charge of being a media celebrity because he cannot handle that.
He can't hang. Yeah.
He can't handle the pressure of that, and he can't handle he just can't handle it. So
they're going to be like, U.S. agent, what an asshole. Hey, or they're going to be like, Captain America, what an asshole. F that guy, he killed the guy. But check out U.S. agent over here. He's a totally different guy.
Yeah, right. Well, they won't say check out U.S. agent. They'll just use him for their own things. Because once America finds out he's actually a super soldier now, they are not wasting him. He's not. Yeah, he's not going to. That guy's not going to
get locked away. There's no way he's going to get locked away.
He's not getting locked up. It's going to be uncomfortable. Sam and Bucky are going to find out.
Yeah.
Sam and Bucky are going to beat the crap out of him next week, and then they're going to turn him over. And then in the post credits of the final episode, they're going to find out that guy's totally walking because
He's John
America,
Walker
because America.
Because he's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's white.
Yeah.
And no one will remember Lamar Hoskins unless he's a Skrull. And that's the bummer of it. I guess really quick. Yeah, I actually put that on our bingo card, which is a good segue. Ricky, why don't you hit the button really quick?
Real quick.
Do it quicker than this. Mikey, I was talking to you earlier about the bingo card. This week's bingo is very, very, very slightly updated. I did put a nice black Lamar Hoskins RIP there just for the week where it's a memorial for him.
I will remember you.
And I also did mark. I know this is cheating. This is arguable. I have a cell on mine that says Afghanistan/Riley. And that was my intent of that, was that I hoped that we would get more info into Sam's origins and the best friend or co-pilot or whatever that died in Afghanistan. All we got was apparently Lamar and John Walker were also in Afghanistan. And so it got name dropped. I didn't expect it to get name dropped by them, but I was like, I'll throw it on there. And if at the end of the season, since this is all for charity, at the end of the season, we can decide if that one counts. But that was
Did you tell Mikey about the charity?
I let Mikey know he hasn't had one picked out yet, so he's going to share one with me after the show, and we will donate $10 for every square that has been lit up on his card. So yeah, let's move on, Ricky.
Man, you almost had it. If you would have had that line just one over.
I know, right? I'm doing pretty good so far.
Mine's doo-doo.
Yeah, no updates on Frank's. Still the same as last week.
Why did I pick Mephisto? What the hell was I thinking?
That's
the Power Broker. Power Broker starts with an M, ends in an O.
Keep moving, Ricky. Keep moving.
No, nothing to see.
Lamar Hoskins, RIP, once again.
I will remember.
Yep. Let's see.
And
guest card.
This is Mikey's guest card. And the one new thing that got lit up for the week was Shuri. We were making adjustments last week. We were saying, why don't we just say the Shuri one is Wakanda and the Dora Milaje and all that thing? And I honestly forgot to go edit that, but I don't have to anymore because Shuri actually got name dropped in this episode. I thought that was really cool.
Tyson, we might actually have a win here with.
Did we lose Mikey? Did we lose Mikey? Okay.
No.
Still here.
He's just checking out.
Mikey's just checking out the card to see what things we have on here.
You think
we have the Falcon cap, and then we
need Goliath.
Oh man!
You know what? They did mention someone being like big.
Oh,
that would be interesting if the guest card ends up winning. Oh my god, that would be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
Because we just kind of threw the guest card. Honestly, full disclosure, was all the leftover things that we really wanted to have on there. It's just so we could talk about it in the show in case it showed up. But none of us wanted to necessarily put it on our cards.
I wouldn't be upset if it won. That'd be funny.
If that card wins, man, that's too funny.
That'd be great.
That's too funny. But it's got an extra one marked off there. So it's got 4. So $40 will go to whatever charity of your choice you send us later, Mikey. So yeah. And if you had any questions on that card, we're down to answer them if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can look at it later if you want, like on the soapbox.
The soapbox.
But yeah, I think. Did you guys have any final thoughts that you wanted to share with the wide audience? I really appreciated that we had a new person tuning in, like with some cool scroll theories that I never would have thought of.
I know, hot takes.
Yeah, that was fun.
This is. Would you say this is the best episode to date?
This was my favorite episode so far, for sure.
This was a good one. The ball's rolling now. We're in it.
Yeah. I love it because it's doing superheroes. It's talking about race relations. It's talking about
it's got everything.
A world post apocalypse kind of scenario going on. Like it's just all crappy across the board, and that makes it fun.
It's everything that we've been complaining about that other shows don't have. It's got a good villain. It's got drama. It's got like a social commentary.
It's got 3 good villains.
It's got action.
It's a great buddy movie. I mean, great buddy
great,
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Lethal Weapon. It's like it's all
Right.
of those, right?
It's
every single one
hilarious.
of those. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, one of my favorite moments of all 4 episodes is the part where he was drinking that habusaki or whatever that snake drink was.
Oh, the snake gonads. Yeah.
I was laughing out loud, only because I've been there before in a foreign country.
You've been to Madripoor?
No, in a foreign country where they brought out like a big bottle with a snake in it, and it's like, oh,
they're all
just
Mikey
his
Prime, your usual,
face.
and then they bring out the snake.
yeah,
Yeah.
that his face, that whole scene was hilarious to me.
Yeah, that was great.
My favorite
Pretty
moments.
funny.
I have another story for the soapbox about foreign
Oh my
things.
God,
I'm gonna make
Frank's geared
do
up.
it.
Soapbox is going to be a while. All right. I think unfortunately we gotta bring this one to a close. Before we go, I just wanted to give everybody a chance, like if they have anything to share. Where can people find you? I think Mikey, you got that podcast, Ridiculous on Rye.
Right.
You want to tell people?
Yeah, so I do a podcast with my buddy Devin. It's called The Ridiculous on Rye with Mikey and Dev. Your favorite neighborhood drinking buddies. We get together and tell sea stories from our Navy past. So yeah, we are on hiatus right now, but we're about to start it back up really soon. Hopefully we get on a video platform.
Snap.
So not any what do you call it? Not any competition, but we will be on the waves with you guys soon.
Nice.
No,
Hopefully.
nothing but love. That'd be cool. We can
Yeah,
promote
man.
each other.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. If you guys get a chance, definitely tune in.
Cool. Sounds good.
And
Yeah,
then Frank, Fricky, you got anything to add? Does your dog have anything to add, Ricky?
The
What's your
dog
dog
said,
say?
"Rest in peace, DMX."
yeah, that was a sad one.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yo,
that
he totally knocked what's his name? Prince, what's his
Phillip,
name? Out of
Prince
the
Phillip, yeah.
knocked him out of the news feed. It's like
Yeah.
nobody even cared that dude died.
And now we don't remember about Matt Gaetz anymore either.
That's America.
Everyone totally forgot about that guy.
This
Yep.
show's getting weird, guys. I think we got to wrap it
The
up.
show's getting weird.
But no,
and
yeah.
and we're canceled, ladies and gentlemen.
This show's getting weird. We're not canceled. Calm down with the cancellation.
We're not canceled
All
yet,
right.
ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Clearly, you guys are chatty Cathys. You still want to talk for a while. We're going to do this. We're going to talk more. If anybody wants to follow us over to patreon.com/denxmedia, you're welcome to. We get weirder than this, I promise. But we will still keep talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And, if you can't get enough of us talking about it, but you don't want to go to Patreon, we'll be back next week and the week after and the week after that. We'll keep doing this because we're big fans of all this stuff and we like talking with you guys and with just our friends like Mikey who comes to visit us. So thank you, Mikey, for coming on the show.
Thank you, Mikey.
And
Anytime, guys.
And thanks to our audience for tuning in. If you had fun, please remember, what can they do, Frank?
They can look up El Chapo and thank him for being a reference in our show. Oh,
This is why I don't tee up Frank sometimes.
darn it.
You can like and subscribe.
And smash
and
that
share
bell.
it.
Ring that bell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and share this with anybody that you think might be interested in watching us. Like we love talking to random people about all things Marvel and all things honestly all things outside of Marvel,
Yep.
apparently, judging by this show.
Share it with El Chapo. He might like the show.
Yes.
Nope.
Thank you for watching Den X Celsior. See you next time, true believers. Enough said.